Hello and welcome to Between the Books. My name is Isadora.
And my name is Shannon.
And today we're going to be discussing Sunrise on the Reaping, which is really exciting. I think it's a book that a lot of us have been waiting for a long time. And for this one, we did a really exciting activity, something that we had never done before. We both went axe throwing. And after we talk a little bit about the book, you will know why. So we'll talk more about it later.
But first, before we start talking about the book, Isadora, what are you currently reading?
Gosh, Shannon, what am I currently reading? Right now, I'm just about to start a new book, so I don't really want to get into that one, but I did just finish reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. It's a really popular romance book, and I usually do really like romance, but this one just didn't hit for me. I really didn't like... And it's really loved, so I was expecting to really like it, but I just did not like the characters. I didn't really like the story. I thought it was a little very tropey and very insta-love, so it was just, unfortunately, it was not for me. But yeah, how about you?
I'm going to talk about something that I'm not currently reading, but something I'm very excited about. T. Kingfisher's Saint of Steel series, or Paladin series, which I call it, recently got traditionally published. It was self-published, and it got traditionally published in the UK with these beautiful old school romance covers. So we got it shipped from the UK. It is currently in my house, and I am super excited to read. I've read the first two in the series, and they follow 7 paladins that are part of an organization. So there's going to be 7 books in total. There's 4 out now, so I have the 3rd and 4th one to read. And I'm very excited to just start reading those. So that's what I'm excited to read.
Yeah, I saw the covers. They're so pretty. So, the covers alone are already making me want to be honest.
You should. I really enjoy it.
Okay, it's on my list. Okay, so going back to the Hunger Games, Shannon, how did you get to read it? Because for me, I actually watched the movie first. So I guess that was 2012. It was just in the theaters. I went to watch it with my friend, and that became my life. That was that changed me in a way that I bought the book right away and I was obsessed with it. So I love that series so much. And how about you?
Yeah, so I actually read the book first. I don't remember the exact year that I read the book, but I knew I was in elementary school. So I have a funny story about how I came across the Hunger Games edition at first. So the book was at my elementary school library, and I saw it. I knew it was popular even then, and I checked it out, and I went back to class like normal. And then an hour or so later, I remember the librarian coming into my classroom where I was sitting and being like, "Shannon, I've thought about it. I don't think I can let you check out this book because it is too adult, or too young adult, has themes of violence in it, and I don't think that you should be reading it." And so she just took it away from me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I just went to the city library and I checked it out.
Who is she to tell you that you can't read this book?
It was so confusing to me also because I was in grade 6, I think, and the school goes from kindergarten to 7. So if I couldn't read it, who's going to read this book?
You must be in grade 7, I guess.
I guess I must be in grade 7. Next year I would have read it, but no. And then I was counting down. I remember counting down the days to when the movie was going to release.
Oh my gosh. That must have been so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you feel about the movie? Because I know, did you feel like it was a good adaptation when you watched it?
I thought it was fine. Yeah. I was also a child.
Yeah, so you weren't analyzing it.
I wasn't analyzing it at that point, but I did enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because for me, it was perfect because I didn't have anything to compare to. But yeah, so that was really exciting. And then last year, was it last year or
a couple of last year or 2 years ago?
I think it was last year because we read it before the movie came out.
So that's right.
We have our own little book club with our friends, and we decided to read. It took us a while for some reason. I just didn't read it right away when it came out, but we read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and for a book club, and then we watched the movie, and that was really fun. Shannon and I have opposing opinions about this, but I think that will come out when we start, we will talk about it when we start talking about this one, because I think they relate to it a lot.
Yes.
So, later. But I guess let's talk a little bit about the synopsis.
In the dystopian world of Pan Am, as a punishment for the rebellious districts, 24 tributes are reaped to participate in the Hunger Games, which is a battle royale fight to the death. And this book centers on the 50th Hunger Games, which is a special Hunger Games because double the tributes are reaped, 48 instead of 24. And one of those tributes is Hamish Abernathy. So this book follows Hamish as he is reaped into the second quarter quell.
Yeah, and we all know Hamish, like if you've read the original. And this was highly anticipated because it was briefly mentioned, I think, in Catching Fire, the like how he won, the way he did it. That this was like one of the quarter quells and stuff. So I feel like we've all been like, we need a Hamish book.
Yes.
And so this is really exciting to have. I remember when they announced it, I like lost my mind.
I remember reading it. Hamish was one of my favorite characters in the original trilogy. So following a book from his perspective was highly anticipated.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's. I think this is. Oh, I guess let's talk a little bit of overall thoughts before we go into spoilers. I really, really liked this book. I think it's hard to dislike it because for the most part, we knew what was going to happen, and it is with characters that we know and love. Like a lot of familiar faces show up, and then we know Suzanne Collins' writing. We know like how she does it. So I feel like I knew how I was going to feel about it, and overall, really good. And like especially after reading the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and like getting that middle time between the 10th Hunger Games and the 74th Hunger Games, it was so interesting to see the differences in how the games evolved, because even though it's closer to Katniss's games, it's still quite different, I think. So that was really cool. But yeah, that was like I think I definitely recommend if you like the Hunger Games.
Yeah, I can echo those thoughts. I definitely think if you are a fan of the Hunger Games that you will like this book. I'm so excited to say that I liked this book because I'll talk about the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I did not like that book. After reading this book, I do think it was important to the canon of the Hunger Games. I think it was interesting to see those events play out. I did think it was boring. So I went into this book cautious. Like, okay, honestly, when I read this book, like before I started reading this book, I went, am I that into the Hunger Games? I truly was like,
Ballad did that to you?
Ballad did do that to me. I went, am I that big of a fan? And it turns out I am.
Yeah.
Turns out I am. Because after I read this book, I started going through YouTube and I watched a bunch of Hunger Games theories. Nice. So yes, I am actually a fan of the Hunger Games.
Interesting. I really liked Ballad. I really liked it. Like I can see how it was way less action and way more just character driven. So I can see how it could have gotten boring, but I really liked it. But yeah, I think that's kind of enough though for our overall thoughts. I think we can jump into spoilers. So if you haven't read it or if you don't want to get spoiled, please leave.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So we're going to approach this mainly chronologically, opening with the reaping and Hamish's birthday. A crazy thing to do.
And Suzanne. Also July 4th.
July 4th. Crazy. Oh my God. I love these like 2 opening chapters which discuss the reaping. This was probably my favorite reaping out of the 4 that we've seen.
Interesting.
Mostly because of how rigged it is. I think, well, we all knew Hamish was going to get picked. Yeah. But the interesting part was how he was going to get picked. Yeah. And then learning that he wasn't actually picked at all. That was so... I don't know why that was so crazy to me.
It was so upsetting.
I think part of what made this book interesting is because we've already read 3 different books where a Hunger Games took place. And so we know the steps very well. And so we need to now... how to make this book interesting is how are we going to subvert those expectations that we have.
Exactly. Like, how would this be different from the others? Like, how would you surprise us? Because, when I started reading it, I was like, okay, I know exactly how this is going to go. Like, I know they're going to pick out his name, whatever. When they didn't pick out his name,
crazy.
I was shocked. I actually was shocked. Wait, what does that mean?
I remember I listened to this book through audiobook, and I remember...
Oh, my God.
I was in the grocery store. For this first bit, I remember I was in the grocery store. I know what aisle of the grocery store I was in because I will never forget when they didn't say Hamish Abernathy. I was like, the shock I went through. Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? And, also, like, side note, in this scene, we get introduced to Drusilla, who is kind of their Effie.
Yes.
The way they described her outfits, like, the outfit on this scene, I can't even remember exactly, but I just remember being like, I can't even picture that, because that sounds so fucking ugly. Like, what? Yeah, but it was really, because he was, like, trying to protect his girlfriend, Lenore Dove, member of the Covey, and it wasn't an announcement. It was, they just pulled him and they're like, okay, it's gonna be you. And then he barely reacted. I think he was just going,
he was shocked.
He was so shocked that he didn't react. He was just like following, what they were telling him to do. So it was very different than from the other books when they say, like, when they would say, like, Prim's name, and then you would see, like, Katniss's shock, and them shock. Like, we didn't get that moment.
Like, as much as I do love I Volunteer as Tribute, I love it. I do love it. The shock of not hearing Haymitch's name, crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. And then the whole thing, how we learn how it's not live. So they had, like, 5
minutes to edit it.
To basically, they were timing it. They were like, okay, we're going to clean up the body, the guy that got shot, and Haymitch, you're going to be here, and everyone put it in places. You act shocked when they call your name.
Like, we know, this is why I love this reaping so much. We know how staged the Hunger Games is. That's the whole point of the original trilogy. But somehow Suzanne Collins still manages to surprise me with just how staged it is, just how rigged it is. It's like, we know that Lucy Gray Baird was reaped from the Hunger Games in probably an illegal way. Like, but there's not really any proof. There's just, we know that she was fighting with the mayor's daughter. We know that's what she said. And maybe there is proof now. Because and Snow didn't know it. We just know it was from Snow's point of view. Maybe that was edited out. We don't know. But actually seeing, like, in your face how rigged that reaping was a shock in of itself.
And I think that's one of the main themes of this book, actually. It's a lot about, like, with the propaganda and the, like, with the peacekeepers and all that stuff, and then just, like, how we'll see more about, like, how they do with the games and cut it and all that. So that was crazy.
A very strong opening.
Wild. And just like while we're here in the beginning, we also get to see some familiar faces right away, which is really exciting. We get to, like, see that Haymitch was friends with Katniss's dad.
Yes.
Which is so wild. And we meet Katniss's mom as well, and how they were, like, still, like, in the beginning of their courting or whatever.
Did we also know, we knew Haymitch had a family, but
I don't think we have ever heard about his family.
We didn't know specifics.
No.
Yeah, so
we knew they died.
Yeah, so he has a younger brother. He has multiple younger siblings.
No, he's got one younger brother.
One younger brother, sorry. I'm misremembering. One younger brother.
And then his mom.
And
And his dad had died.
And his dad has died,
And so we meet, so the people who get reaped, we got, like, Haymitch, we get this girl called Luella, who is his, like, this girl that he was kind of friends with. She's younger. She was about 12.
She's 13, I think.
And so he was, like, a little closer to her. And we've got Maisie Lee, who is Mary Lee's twin sister. And Maisie Lee is the one that had the Mockingjay pin.
Yes.
Iconic.
Yes.
And also we hear that the Mockingjay pin was made by one of the Coveys.
One of the Covey, yeah.
Which is so interesting. I love that. And also Wyatt. And he is member of this group of people who love betting on
the Booker Boys.
The Booker Boys. So this is the group. We also see Plutarch.
Yes, right at the start. And before he became head games maker, he's sort of in charge of media for District 12. Yeah. So we see him filming, like, Haymitch's family, like, trying to get shocked reactions out of them before they leave on the train.
And they had to do so many times.
Yes.
Dude, that, like,
Plutarch is such an interesting character. I'm so happy he showed up in this book, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more about him maybe at the end. He's such a morally interesting character to get in this book, and I'm really happy that his character was expanded upon.
I agree. Yeah, so obviously, after that, he goes to the capital. Right away, we learned that his mentors are also some familiar faces. We got Mags, who we meet in Catching Fire. She was from District 4. And we have Wyrus, who is from District 3. We also meet her in Catching Fire. And this was right after Wyrus' game, right? Wyrus' game was just the previous one.
Yes, she was the 49th game. Yeah. And she was in the mirror arena. which was crazy to hear about.
It was really cool hearing more and more about the other arenas in this one. Makes you think about how the 74th Games was so boring.
We've got mirrors. We've got volcanoes. How can we make the stakes higher? I know.
Forest.
A forest.
Just a forest.
Just a forest.
There's literally nothing else. A forest. I think it's so funny. It's fine.
Sometimes we need dud years. Like, do you think they were preparing for the 75th ones? They were like, the 74th, the 74th ones. We'll put them in a forest. They
were designing the 75th. I'm like, what do we do about 75th? No. We're playing for the quarter-quile. The 74th is just like the pregame.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was really cool. We got to see that. We also, they're preparing for the opening ceremony.
Yes.
And also, we kind of see that Haymitch is rebellious, but I feel like up until this opening ceremony, we don't really see much of that, right? Like, he's kind of just going along.
There's actually a great scene, actually, back when he's in District 12 still, and he's meeting up with Lenore Dove. And Lenore Dove is saying, like, can you imagine a world, without the Hunger Games? Or your birthday without a Hunger Games. He says something that's like, well, there's always been a reaping on my birthday. Yeah. So there's always going to be a reaping.
Yeah. He said, like, there's always a sunrise on the reaping.
Yeah. So he has sort of placated himself in this world. He isn't overtly rebellious, definitely not as rebellious as Lenore Dove is, but he isn't a symbol of rebellion.
I think he's just more like pissed, obviously, as most of them are, but I think up until this point he's not planning anything. He's kind of just like, I guess I'm gonna die.
Yeah, so what was very interesting reading Haymitch before he went to the games is comparing him to Katniss. And there's so many parallels between him and Katniss and their kind of role in their respective communities before they reach the games. And neither of them are going to set out to be a rebellion leader, but they're going for their own personal community.
They've got like their own like fire, like that thing that could, if like being led to it, they could.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about actually Lenore Dove a little bit?
We can talk about Lenore Dove. I think that she is interesting because I feel like we don't have almost any scenes with her.
Yeah.
But she is talked about.
The amount of times Lenore Dove is brought up in this book.
I don't know, like it's
she is the Penelope of this book. If you listen to Deep End by Ali Hazelwood,
our podcast episode, she was the Penelope of this book. You're so right. Because Haymitch thinks about her a lot, which fair, because his love of his life, I guess. But I feel like I wish, because I think that she was so similar in my head to Lucy Gray in a sense, because she was part of the Covey and she had like kind of a similar personality. Like she was very like, likes performing, whatever. She wears like colorful colors, blah, blah, blah. So I in my head, I was like, why are we getting another Lucy Gray? But she also kind of had her own secrets. Like we know that she had like some activism things to her but she didn't talk to Haymitch about it.
No, so because you need someone for Haymitch to fight for. In Katniss's book, it was her sister, and that was obvious. And you couldn't really make Haymitch's thing his brother. He did want to go back to his family, but if you try to make that the main focus, it becomes too much like Katniss. So they made it someone he loves. And also, this is a young adult book, so they are both 16. So every time I hear him talking about how Lenore Dove is the love of his life, I have to take a step back and remember that he is 16.
Yeah.
But I agree that she was a little bit too Covey, quote unquote.
Yeah.
She was a little bit too much like Lucy Gray. And I do think the thing that made her separate and unique, which was her political activism, kind of got brushed aside because Haymitch didn't know about it, because we were trapped in his POV.
Yeah. And we learned about it at the end, but I don't think it was impactful enough when we learned it. Like, I don't think it did anything to the main story.
Yeah.
Like, she was just kind of there.
So I do think this is something where the movie could really expand upon her character. And obviously, we're so excited for the movie. And obviously, I think the movie not being trapped in Haymitch's POV will be a great opportunity to show some of her more than what we saw in the book.
Yeah, I agree. Going back to the opening ceremony.
Yes. Another crazy shift of expectations.
Exactly. I was like, I know how this is going to go. I know what happens. I've seen this before.
We know what outfits they're already going to wear.
Yeah.
So, because they already talk about in the Hunger Games that every year District 12 wears those silly minor outfits. And I did think it was fun when they were brought up again. Yeah. That they showed up, actually. I thought that was so fun.
And they were just like, it was the same one that it was always worn. They were like, yeah, like it doesn't really fit us that well because they weren't made for them.
Yeah. So they get to the ceremony and Luella McCoy dies almost immediately.
Yeah, there's like a big accident. There was like a firework or something.
The crowd got rowdy and threw a firework.
The crowd was crazy. They were like spitting on them and like throwing, it was weird. The Capitol, man.
Yeah.
Those people.
And it was actually so funny because you see Luella McCoy, like a young girl, again, who got raped. And it's like, oh, so this is going to be like the Rue of the story.
Yeah.
No. She dies.
And Haymitch like takes her body and runs towards President Snow to the end of like the parade thing.
Yeah.
I think that was like the big like, oh, like Haymitch got something to him because before he didn't really do anything to that extent. Like that's a big thing.
Yes.
In front of everyone. But we also hear that doesn't get like televised or anything. So no one sees it unless they were there. Like that was not something that people knew about. So this also plays into that like
propaganda,
the media stuff. So he's already like on President Snow's
hit list.
Yeah, and President Snow sees his like little necklace that I think he sees it then that
Lenore Dove gave him.
And he already knows because it's got a snake and like a mockingjay, I think.
Yeah.
And he's already like, okay, I got my eyes on you.
District 12 boy.
District 12 boy.
Okay.
Anyway, so another thing that we see that we've seen before, training, we see the alliances, but this one's also a little different because we see a new person, not a new person, an old person, an old friend.
An old friend.
You might say. In training, we see Beatty.
Yes.
And Beatty has a son. So Beatty, like, did, like, some rebellious shit. He does things. And he's got a son, and the Capitol reaped his son as a punishment.
This was, again, just another great thing I loved about this book, which was seeing what we found out more what became of the victors after they won their respective games. Because the only viewpoint that we see that in the original Hunger Games is Haymitch, at least before Catching Fire. Like, before Catching Fire, obviously, in Catching Fire, there's a bunch of victors.
Yeah.
But in this one, we actually see how those victors suffered after they won their games. So we see BT and his son who got reaped because of BT's actions as part of the rebellion.
And he already like accepted that his son was going to die. Which is so sad. He was already like, I don't have any hope for him. Like they're not going to let him live. The whole thing was that they're going to kill him. So sad. Yeah. And he's there in the training. So he's like teaching them things. Yeah. And Biddy, like because of Haymitch's thing at the opening ceremony, Biddy automatically like clocks him as like, this guy, he's gonna be on my side, he's gonna help me take the Capitol down.
Yeah.
And right away he already like, he's like, hey, do you wanna get in on this plan?
Yeah.
Or I don't know if he says it I think he kind of mentions it there.
He implies it.
Yeah. And then later on he shows up at their apartment.
Yes.
In the middle of the night, and he takes Haymitch and he's like, hey, so I've got this plan. There's like this water tank at the arena that we can try to blow up. I can try to get some stuff in the arena to help you. Ampert, his son, can help you with this. Like, we got this plan. And Haymitch is like, yeah, sure. Like, you know what? Like, why not?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the thing. Like, he's kind of like Katniss. He's more just pissed, but he's not necessarily wanting to change. Not that he doesn't want to, but he doesn't expect to be able to make a big change. I think he's just like, yeah, sure, I'm already going to die. Like, might as well do this.
The other thing that was interesting was it's been a while since I've read the original trilogy. I don't remember Katniss's motivations while she was in the arena.
Yeah.
Like, did she believe she was going to die? Or did she have some fighting hope that she was going to make it back to her family?
I think she wanted to win.
She wanted to win.
She did think she was.
And I think that's
it was different. Like, they knew, like, Peter, like, they were like, Peter's not going to win. Like, that was the whole thing. Peter was like, because, like, remember, Peter's family told him, we're finally going to have another winner, and they were talking about Katniss.
Yeah.
So I think, Katniss, because she knew how to hunt and everything, like, I think she was, because she wanted to go back to her family. I think she did.
So she was at least believed she could win at least.
Yeah.
I think it's very funny throughout this whole book. Haymitch does not believe he's going to win.
And also there are 40 people in there. That would be crazy if he was like, yeah, I'm going to be the one. Because Haymitch didn't have that many, like, big skills or anything.
No. I wouldn't even, like, he can lift an axe and throw an axe and whatever, but he's definitely not as trained as I would say Katniss was with
have, like,
her
a bow and arrow. But yeah, real quick, in this training, he does make an alliance, or there's, like, a big divide, which we don't really see in the other books.
No.
Not really. It's just the careers versus the newcomers, which is what they call themselves.
Yes.
And it's basically, so the careers, I think, is just 1, 2, 4, and I think they get another one. I can't remember what the other.
Was it not 9?
Is there 9? No, I think 9 stayed with them.
Okay.
9 with the kids with the sunflower things. I think it was 5, possibly. And so just that for the careers. And then they literally, everyone else, the newcomers, they were like, we're friends now. We're going to do this together. And Haymitch's like, well, but I've got this plan, so I'm probably going to like split up from them. Also because President Snow hates me, so I don't want to be close to them because I think they're going to target me.
Yeah, he gets a very bad score in his
He gets a 1.
yeah, he gets a 1 in his training evaluation.
And he even gets like a visit from President Snow. And President Snow is like, I think I know a little something about your dove.
He's like, freak matches freak. I know you.
He's like, you know what? You think she loves you, but she's got secrets, and I know this. And Haymitch is like, no, she's the love of my life.
And he also has a birthday present for Haymitch. Lulu.
Yes.
This is when Lulu shows up.
Lulu shows. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
Yes. So Luella died, obviously, but the Capitol grabbed someone from District 11, a prisoner of some sort, and they did just like plastic surgery on her. I don't know what they did, but they made her look like Luella. But Haymitch like knew right away because this girl like couldn't really talk. Like she wasn't making much sense, and she had something in her ear. If she said something wrong, they would be like play some sort of noise that was like hurting her.
Yep.
And so Haymitch started calling her Lulu, so because he didn't want to call her Luella.
Yeah, so the Lulu reveal is another one of my favorite parts of this book, because after reading Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, we're starting to build up how cruel the Capitol actually can be. Yeah. But seeing that they absolutely just tried to replace one of the tributes with a different little girl was so sad to read about. Yeah, because
this girl, like who is she? Like, we why? Don't know. Like, they just took her.
Yeah.
It's not right. And it was so sad when they kind of got that she was from District 11, for example. I think they gave her a bread from District 11, and she started getting emotional. And it's like she's in there, but she couldn't even express herself.
Yeah. So tragic. And it's honestly so interesting also how much the other tributes from District 12 keep her at arm's length, partly because she is a spy for the Capitol, but also partly because they know that's not Luella.
Yeah.
So they don't want to form associations.
But I feel like eventually they do.
Especially once they get in the arena. Oh, we'll talk about it when we get to the games. But even they realize that it's someone they need to protect. Like still one of their own. Like still someone from the districts they need to protect, no matter who she is. Yeah. And I think that's so sweet.
And then so we're about to get to the games, but I wanted to mention another face we get to see, which is Effie. Yeah. And when she showed up, I screamed. I was like, hell yes. Effie is here. She is the sister of one of Haymitch's like stylists, not the main one, but one of the like student stylists that were helping him because they were having a wardrobe issue, drama before the interviews. Yeah, so Effie shows up, and oh my gosh, she like they kind of have like a little connection right away. I think she likes him, and you can tell, but obviously Effie's still like super brainwashed, so she's still like, the games they're meant to, they're supposed to happen. But still, I love seeing her. And also I actually have a quote that I wanted to pull out. It was a quote not from Effie, actually. It's from a little earlier, but I think it was when Mags and Wyrus were asking the tributes, like, what do they want from this game? Like, what was their goal? And Haymitch said, I want to remind people I'm here because the Capitol won the war and thinks that 50 years later, this is a fair way to punish the districts. But I'd like them to consider that 50 years is enough. And I think that was like, I think it's such a simple quote, but I think it's so impactful because you're like 50 years. Like, that's so long.
Yeah. The realization that this book series is about children dying just hit me as I was reading this book, because we talked about at the beginning, we read the original trilogy when we were young adults, younger than Katniss.
So to us, she was old and wise and like not really
but she was older than us. But when I was reading this book, now much older than any of the tributes, I went, no matter if you were 18 or if you were 12 in these games, you are a child dying. And to think about, eventually 75 years of children dying. is crazy.
And just imagining people watching them and just being like being able to separate the fact that they're children and just thinking that that's just a fun game.
Yeah.
That they're watching or being like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, this is to punish. But you're like...
Yeah, even worse than considering for entertainment, thinking that it needs to be done.
But anyways, we're starting with the games. And I think that for both of us, I think that's the weakest part of the book.
Yes, I agree.
And personally, for me, I kind of almost wish that they hadn't gotten that into the games, which is a weird thing to say because it's the Hunger Games. But I almost feel like they had gotten so much detail about every moment that happened, or like if they had been a little more mysterious about it, because I almost miss, now that I've read this, I almost miss that mystery of being like, oh my gosh, how was Haymitch's games? Like, that must have been crazy, because now we know, and I'm like, I feel like it just feels more underwhelming than what I built up in my head. So yeah, so we find out immediately during the cornucopia bloodbath that Wyatt, the other boy from District 12, dies trying to defend Lulu. Yeah. And that made me really sad. And you know what? We don't find about that. We find out about that way later.
Yes.
Someone tells Haymitch later. Because Haymitch books out of there. Like, he leaves. He's by. And then, so the arena is basically, from what's described, as like, there's a feud.
Yeah.
And there is like a forest. I think they're both like, almost like it's split in half almost, is what it feels like. And there's a lot of like pretty flowers. Like, everything's really pretty. There's also a volcano, like a mountain. And from what we hear later on, it feels like pretty much all of them go towards the forest, I guess, to hide. And then Haymitch is like, no, I'm gonna go to the field. I'm gonna go away from
He is set on his rebellion mission, so he does have a reason for doing it.
He knows that, he has to follow like this.
He has to go north.
Yes. Yeah. So he's going north because he's trying to find the place where the water tank is gonna be.
And I understand that you had a reason to do it, but reading just him alone for the first part of this games was a little bit boring.
Yeah.
Additionally, how these games played out was that Haymitch would be by himself, someone would show up, give him an update about what was happening with the interesting part of the games that we don't see, and then they would die.
And we wouldn't even see them die. Like, Haymitch would be like, okay, bye, see you soon, and then he would come back and they would be dead.
Yep. So Lulu was the first one to show up. She shows up in a very interesting way because apparently the game makers told her to try to find Haymitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's interesting. What's going to happen? And then she dies 2 pages later.
Yeah, she like gets poisoned because it turns out everything in this arena is poisoned, which is interesting. And also we basically learned that on the first day, like 24, not I don't know if it's exactly 24, I forget the number,
but a large majority,
but half of them die.
Half of them almost
so very
die.
quick, which I also feel like that's boring because the whole point was that how exciting is it to see an arena with 48, but 24 already died, so it's almost like, okay, we're starting the games now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it almost seemed like the author, Suzanne Collins, didn't play into the conceit of this quarter quell as well as she could have.
It just did not feel like that was any impactful to Haymitch whatsoever. Like, because you would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Haymitch won when he had to go against 47 other people. Yeah. But it didn't feel like that at all.
No, it didn't feel like he was up against double the numbers.
No. So after Lulu, he does run into Ampert, who comes to find him. Ampert gives him another like a little update. He says that, I think he mentions that Maisley is kind of split off. He didn't know where Maisley was. He talks about like Wyatt dying and everyone else. He listed some people dying, I don't know. But then they were like, okay, let's go find the water tank.
Yes.
Which they do. Haymitch blows it up. The arena starts like glitching. Very strange things happen.
But it doesn't work. He doesn't take down the force field around the
I feel like it gets fixed like very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he comes back up from that, he finds Ampert dead by mutts, by like squirrels, I think. It was really sad. But like also...
I do have this opinion about everyone who died in this games, which is so weird because I really enjoyed like Wyatt and Maisley and all the other tributes before we got in the games, but when their deaths happened, I don't know why I didn't feel anything about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why it didn't feel impactful to me, but I do think it was just because most of them got by mutations, by mutts, and not by other tributes.
Yeah, no, we only saw a few of the tributes actually fighting themselves.
Yeah.
Which I think is what, like, I feel like that's the biggest thing, like the darkest part of the games is saying that they have to kill each other. And then this one, it was more like they were trying to survive like the poison or the mutts, like that was what they were actually fighting against. That's kind of what it felt like.
So the person, in my opinion, who got shafted the hardest, Maisie.
Bestie Maisie. I actually love her. I think she's one of my favorite characters. Yeah, because she goes to find him
After Ampert's dead.
I feel like most people are dead by that point.
Yes.
Wait, is it with Maisie that they find those people
Yes.
from outside the arena?
Yes. And then Maisie kills one of them.
Yes.
And then Maisie says, "Why didn't you kill them?"
Yeah, because they find like these workers. I don't know what they were doing. Maintenance.
Yeah, I guess during the Hunger
They just
Games.
like ran into these like, and they were like young people. I feel like
Yeah.
they just seemed like low level like
Employees.
They were just there, and then they were I forget, and then careers show up as well.
Yeah.
And they're fighting against the careers, and then suddenly they kill these people. Haymitch finally kills. I think he was like that main career. That's around that time.
That he kills the other career, yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't kill the game maker. I don't know if they were a
Yeah.
game maker. The employee.
The people there.
The people there. But Maisie does.
Yeah.
And honestly, as punishment, she gets killed later on by
Months.
months.
Yeah. But right before that, that's when they find the force. Well, Haymitch finds it a little before the force field. He takes him
Yes.
easily there, and he's like, I feel like this is something that like we can do. Like we can try to get out, do something to the arena from here. And Maisie doesn't really care, so she's like, you know what, I'm gonna leave. Nice to know you. And then it's cute because they're like formed a bond where they're saying like she's his sister now,
Yeah.
which was really sweet. And she walks away, and then he hears her scream, I believe.
We don't even see her die.
No, I mean like we kind of do, but she already got pierced through,
Yep.
through like because it was like birds or whatever. So when he gets to her, I think is she still alive? I think she's dying. But yeah, we don't get much. Yeah. And then it's just left over. It's Haymitch and this other career. Oh, no.
There's 3. No, there's 3.
There now. So this Shannon has an opinion about this.
I
do too, but Shannon-
hate this District 5, whatever. I don't
Welly?
remember the district.
Welly was her
Welly.
name.
Oh
I
my
don't-
God.
I mean, I don't hate Welly.
I don't hate Welly herself.
That Welly was the one.
I hate Welly's role in the story as the last quote unquote, I'll say last newcomer to die, because I don't understand why Welly was put into this very position or this important position narratively when it should have been Luella or Lulu. And I don't understand why it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because they have maybe the most visceral death. Well, there's a lot of visceral deaths in this
I think this is
this
the
one
worst
was pretty bad. Which
actually, Ampert's was really bad. But
see, but they get decapitated by the other career.
yeah, Haymitch finds her up in a tree, and
Yeah.
she's like she's starving because that's how she's been surviving. She's just been in a tree, like not trying to find food or anything.
Yep.
And I thought that was cute because they got like the chocolates, and then he gave it to her, and then that other career was there on the tree as well, and she was crying. They spent the night, and he gives her a chocolate too. And I
thought
like,
that was
touching.
sweet. Yeah.
Except then she ruined it because next day, Haymitch is like, I need to find food. You hide in here. He hears the cannon. He comes back. That other career girl has killed and decapitated Welly.
Yeah.
Which was, that was really dark.
It was so dark, but still, I still don't understand why it was Welly when we had no emotional attachment to Welly before this happened.
Yeah.
It boils down to, I think, the order of deaths in this games was very strange, or at least the ones that we saw, the order of deaths. Wyatt going first was very impactful, I guess, was shocking. I'm sad we didn't get to see it, but in terms of the deaths that we actually saw,
I did like that he died protecting Lulu.
I like that as well. Wish we saw it.
Added to his character.
Added to his character. But I think Maisie dying randomly in the middle of the order of deaths did her a large disservice. And I think if you were going to make, the two most important characters that we saw die, which were Lulu and Maisie, one of them should have been last.
Yeah. I feel like if they had shifted things a little bit, it would have been more interesting.
Or
Impactful,
if we had seen the interesting things that were happening, because we get updates.
Okay, I also still feel like the whole plan with blowing up the water tank was really, it happened so fast. Like it was so early on in the games. Like I think that's another thing that I expected to have happened a little later. But I guess the other thing was the force field, which, interesting enough, when after the decapitation, Haymitch starts fighting with that career girl. And I generally thought they were going to stop and not do the force field thing anymore. I was worried.
Really?
Yeah, because we all know from Catching Fire that Haymitch uses the force field to end the games and win. And while they were fighting that, I was like, whoa, is Suzanne Collins really not gonna go through with that? Because they were fighting and they were not close to it. But then Haymitch finally gets to that, and he knows that if you throw something, it comes back.
Yeah.
So when that girl went to throw her axe at him, he ducked and he stayed there, and it went back and it hit her, and Haymitch won the game.
Yes.
Except they didn't even announce that Haymitch had won the games, which I kind of miss because I love when they're like, you are the 50th Hunger Games winner or whatever. Instead, Haymitch is really trying to blow up the generator, I believe, that's down the force field. So he has like a bomb or like things from BD and stuff too. So he's throwing. So when he's doing it, the game makers are like, hey, Mitch Abernathy, stop doing that right now. Please stop doing that. No. Don't do that.
No.
No. And then he throws it anyways, and then there's an explosion, and then he passes out. He thinks he's dying, which would have been interesting. I feel like that would have been so interesting to hear of a game where there were no winners. But I guess that's the whole thing with Katniss and how they needed a winner. But I feel like how has that never happened before? I don't know. Crazy. Two people fighting and then they both hit each other and they both die.
I guess the Capitol has just very good.
They gotta keep someone alive.
So we make it out of the games. At first, Haymitch is in solitary confinement almost. He is kept in an apartment for 2 weeks by himself.
And like they don't even feed, like they have food there initially, and they don't give him more food, so he has to ration the food and everything. He's only got like a little TV. This is really reminiscent of what happens to Katniss at the end of Mockingjay. After she kills President Coin, they put her in a room, and I remember that being so heartbreaking to me because I hate the end. I both hate and really appreciate the ending of Mockingjay. I think I hate it for Katniss because I think she deserves better, but I think that's what we all think. But the way they treated her, I remember being so upset when they kept her in that room. But it was similar, like she was literally just there, and when Haymitch was doing, they did the same thing to Haymitch, which is so interesting. I wonder if that's something that they do to the others, actually, because why would they do that?
I don't know.
Just to torture him in a way.
A little bit. Snow does have a personal vendetta against Haymitch, so I don't know if
so he had the TV, and the TV would like not stop playing stuff, and he would be playing recaps of old games.
Yes.
And it played a little video of her favorite Lucy Gray Baird singing her little song in her interview.
Yeah.
And he sees from the corner of the video, he sees like a young blonde man, and he's like, is that the president? Is that him? And then that actually is really interesting because it makes him think like, oh, what's gonna happen to Lenore Dove? Like,
yes,
because he knows that this girl is the winner of the District 12, the one and only winner of District 12, which is someone that is not spoken about. No one knows who she is. There's no footage of the 10th games, as we know. So he's like, he did something happened. So now he's like, something's gonna happen to my girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really liked the aftermath of these games because we get to see how truly, if you have like people that you care about, how the Capitol, if you win the games, manipulates those people that you care about too, so that you follow along with their agenda. So after that, he goes to parties where he's kept in a cage, 16-year-old boy.
Yeah. And the people are just like saying hi to him, and he was kind of playing along because I think he's
playing along. They were feeding him food.
Yeah.
And he had to play along because he kept thinking, I have to do this because otherwise Lenore Dove, my family, I have to play along with what the Capitol wants. He sees footage of his game and it's propaganded to pieces.
Yeah, like it's completely different order, like totally edited, which is so interesting because it's so similar to reality shows nowadays too, and how to be entertaining. It's not something I thought that they did in the Hunger Games until I just saw them talking about it, because I never came to my mind that they could change the narrative like that.
Yes. I think it's very interesting the insight that we got into the games in this book and how they're done behind the scenes, which is like the propaganda and the editing and everything, which is a lot of the focus of this book. And I thought that was also really interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, after that, he returns home. We kind of knew what was going to happen. We knew his family was going to die. He gets there. There's a fire.
He shows up like the day, like the hour that he gets off that train, and he goes straight home.
Fire. Yeah.
He sees the fire.
So cruel.
Oh my god, it was so sad.
Yeah, and then he goes to find Lenore Dove.
Yes.
And he finds her on the meadow, on the feud, where the classic feud, I think it's the same one that Lucy Gray goes to, the same one that Katniss goes to.
Yeah.
We know it. And he's reunited with her. They're so happy. And she's eating a thing that he gave to his brother at the beginning of the book. He gave her these candies.
Yes.
Colorful candies to his brother and said, give it to her. And when he reunites with her, she's holding the bag of candies and he takes one, puts it in her mouth.
Sinister.
Yep. Because she says, oh, and then I also have to finish the ones that Sid gave me. They're at home. And he's like, so what are these? And then he looks at it and they're all red, like blood red. And he just knows that that's not normal. Like that came from the cabin. That came from Snow.
That's Snow.
Yes, and he tries to make her like spit it out and like throw it up, and she gets poisoned.
I just had a visceral reaction. I'm not gonna lie. No.
Oh, right now.
I had a visceral memory of you saying him trying to get her to spit it out, and I just realized I listened to that again in the grocery store.
Oh my gosh, the grocery store. Damn, I could not listen to this book at the grocery store. I need to be like.
I was in the freezer aisle of the grocery store listening to Haymitch go, spit it out,
Oh my god. Oh no. Yeah, that was dark. Because then she dies. That's it.
She dies.
That's it. And then I think it just shows like later on, it's just him like grieving, pushing people away. He starts drinking, which was a thing that he didn't do before. I think his dad used to drink or something, and he was like, no, I'm not gonna drink.
Oh my god, at the start of this book he kept going, no, I don't drink.
He kept being I don't drink. And then he just turned to drinking, grieving. Obviously he's now living at the Victor's quarters, and then he goes and finds her grave later on, and because there's like a whole Covey cemetery, and he even sees a grave for Lucy Gray.
Yes.
And it's sad. We know she's not there, but like I love seeing like little hints of like the other like stuff. And also in the funeral they sang the Lucy Gray song.
The Old There Before.
Old There Before that Lucy Gray sings in the end of the 10th game.
Yeah, and we find out it's a funeral song from District 12.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So good. And also, you know what? It's Katniss's father that sings it.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, and then he says that Leonard, and at some point he also mentioned that Leonard Dove used to sing to his father too, like to Katniss's father, because like they were all friends, and I think he liked it, which is something that we know that Katniss learned all these songs, these old songs that aren't even sung anymore, and I think it probably came from her dad, and I mean her mom too probably. Yeah, I love that connection. It was so sad.
Actually, so we're kind of near the end of the book. Quickly, I want to ask you, Isadora, do you have any hopes for the movie? Because you saying that makes me remember the promotion, like the casting for the some of the prominent characters has just come out, and we also learned that Lenore Dove is Lenore Dove Baird in the movie,
which is she's not in the book.
No.
She is I think she's supposed to be Maud Ivory's.
That's the theories.
Anne.
Yeah.
Niece.
Yes.
But she's also Tam Amber's niece. That's what they say in the book. Like, those are her uncles. Tam Amber, is that his name? I think so. Clark Carmine. There were those two.
We're saying names.
There were the two. I forget now. But I don't know why they're making her a Baird.
I was wondering what you thought of. Like, how does that even
I also don't know if Lucy Gray Baird, like, who are her parents? Like, where are those names from? Yes. Like, or if they're just like a Covey name that a bunch of them have.
Yeah, so I wonder if that is part of Lenore Dove's expanded story maybe in the movie? Yeah. Where she's connected to Lucy Gray.
Was Maud Ivory her cousin? Like, actual cousin?
Yes.
So maybe she was Maud Ivory Baird.
But people are also saying that Katniss was related to Maud Ivory.
Yeah, but people
say things.
Theories. I don't like that. I don't think we need that. Because I don't think she is. I feel like it's too close, especially now that we met her parents. Yes. Like, I feel like we would have known.
Like, there's one generation above Katniss's parents, but we don't know.
I don't think they would have been Covey, because or else they would talk about it. Like, Lenore Dove would have known.
I think so. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
People have a lot of theories, guys. Anyways, I think for my expectations, I don't know. I hope we see. I think they'll do it justice. I think they're gonna hopefully make the games a little more better structured. I think they will, because we can't just be with Haymitch for that long.
I think so.
But although we were with Katniss for that kind of a while in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm very excited to see it. I'm very excited to see the arena. I think they're going to do So good. The castings can being announced, and they cast like a pretty unknown guy for him, which was really exciting. They cast McKenna Grace as Maisie Lee, which I'm so excited. I don't know if you know McKenna Grace.
I don't.
She's in everything.
Is she?
She is. Since she was really young, she played like the younger versions of everyone. Like she played the younger version of like Captain Marvel and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I'm not gonna forget, but she was also in Handmaid's Tale, and she was incredible in that. And she was in the recent Ghostbusters movie. I don't know. She's just done a lot, and I think she's perfect for it. She's really good.
Well, it's also interesting that they've cast younger actors.
Yeah.
To play the
like they're actually
children.
young. Yeah.
Like she's 18, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. And then they also cast Jesse Plemons
Yes.
as Plutarch, which is perfect because he's so similar to Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like, I think that's such a good casting. And there are some rumors. So the rumors are that Elle Fanning might be Effie, which I think is perfect. And also Kieran Culkin as Caesar.
Yeah.
I think would be so good. And they also are saying Ray Fiennes as Snow. And yeah, I think those are the main ones that we're waiting to hear about. I'm excited. I mean, but also I'm totally okay if they cast unknowns. I think they're good. They're good with the casting. They're doing pretty well. Yeah, so really exciting about that. But I think that's it for our thoughts.
I think so.
Right? We kind of talked about everything.
So now we can talk about the activity that we did based off of this book.
Yeah, we went axe throwing.
Yep.
It was really fun. It was fun, but it made me realize that I would, like, I don't know, you always kind of think that maybe you would do well in the Hunger Games. You know what I mean? I don't know about you.
Did you have that thought? I knew I would die.
No, I know I would die, but I'm also like, you know what, maybe like the adrenaline and everything, like maybe I still would. I don't know. But I feel like if I got a weapon, I would just kind of feel it. Like, I'd be like, I could kill someone with this, right? So even when we went to axe throwing, I was like, you know what, let me embody, let me imagine I'm in the Hunger Games. And boy, is that thing hard to do.
Actually, I have the opposite opinion. I thought it was way easier than I thought it was gonna be.
I think it was harder to like aim. I thought it was gonna be hard, but I thought that like after a few practices I was gonna get it. But we were there for like an hour, and it would come and go. Like sometimes I would get it, sometimes I would not. It was not a skill that I developed to the end. It was not that I was the end and I was good. It was weird.
Yeah, no, I had lots of fun. We booked it for an hour, so I thought we were going to spend an hour not hitting the target, missing the target. There were plenty of throws where we missed the target, but quite a number where we actually hit it, and we went with a bunch of our friends.
Yeah.
And
some of our friends were better than us.
A lot of our friends were better than us.
Yeah.
But I honestly thought it was so fun, and I'm happy everyone had such a good time, because I think that's what this podcast should be about. It should be about trying stuff that we wouldn't normally try, and axe throwing was definitely not my list, but I'm so happy that we got to do it.
I've been wanting to do that for so long, but
really?
I just don't think I needed that push.
You needed a push,
it has been on my list, but I'm like, okay, one day I'll do that. Yeah. And I've seen people do it. Like my brother has done it once, and I've always seen people online like posting like, oh, going to do that. And this was cool because I read this and I was like, what can we do with the Hunger Games? You know, there's not that much that we could have done. But I think the axe is such like a big thing because it's one of the main things we knew before this book came out, like the whole thing with the force field and throwing the axe. So that was about his games. So now we know how to throw axes, kind of.
And now we know that if we were in the Hunger Games and we were to pick up the axe, we would not do very well.
Yeah, but maybe with some practice, we never know.
Yeah.
And then just like quick honorable mention because I wanted to talk about it.
Yes.
So me and one of my friends, we have similar birthdays, and every year we throw a themed birthday party, which is always so fun. And last year, because of the movie coming out, we did a Hunger Games themed birthday party. Shannon unfortunately was not in town when
I was in a different province.
She was in a different province, but it was so fun. I dressed up as Lucy Gray because I had my whole costume that I made for Halloween, and my friend dressed up as Snow.
Really?
Yeah, she did. Oh. And we had a bunch of like random party games, and it was like we had like one of them where we would put water in a bunch of cups, and then 2 of them had vodka. And also we split people into districts, so everyone had their own districts. We randomized, and so like 2 people got poisoned, so they died.
That's so fun.
We had like musical chairs, and it was just Lucy Graybeard's music that was playing. And then we also had like, you know, like classic beer pong. We had charades. We had real not real, which those are people we know. So they would tell two things about themselves to us, and we had to guess which one was the real one, which was not real.
Why did you do this when I was not here? I can't. Every time I hear about this party, I'm so sad I never got to go to it.
And then we had a winner. It was so fun. So that's like another activity. If you guys are ever thinking about throwing a themed party, which I think you should do, Hunger Games is a really fun one. Everyone gets really into it. People dress up. It was a really good time. Our food was all themed. Like, we had cinnamon buns, or we had like girl on fire chips. We had pita bread.
Oh my god! Wait, do you want to talk about at least my favorite costume that I heard about, which was the one our friend dressed up as? Do you remember?
Oh yes, which one?
Trapped on an island with Josh Hutcherson.
Trapped on an island with Josh Hutcherson. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know the fanfic. Yeah, he literally just dressed up as like PETA, and then he had a sign that said "Trapped on an Island."
That was so funny.
So funny. There's also two of my friends dressed up as Effie and Hamish, and they were so good. Yeah, that's another activity that was fun to do. But yeah, I think this is it for this podcast, this episode.
I'm actually so excited to talk about a book that we liked. You can tell because this one's going to be so much longer than our deep end review.
Yep, but it's still like we had so many thoughts. I think it's a good book to analyze.
Yes.
I'm not in school anymore, and I wouldn't do it just for fun, but it would be fun to write an essay on the Hunger Games, I feel like.
I wrote an essay about catching fire.
You did?
I did.
Wait, tell about your thing first.
I mean, I don't really have a thing to say. I was in grade 9 and I did a school report on catching fire.
So my thing is that I went to film school and I did a presentation on the Catching Fire movie.
Did you?
I did.
What'd you talk about?
Like the symbolism. I talked about like the symbolism and like the themes that like were talked about. And I think it's so funny because some people actually talk about like really serious movies. And I was like, I'm talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, Catching Fire. And you know what? I had fun.
I really want to rewatch the movies because it's been a while since I've seen it. We should do it.
We should do it.
And reading this book made me realize I am a Hunger Games girly.
Oh my god. What are the fan names?
What do you mean?
Like you know, when you're a fan of something?
Tributes?
Are we the tributes? I guess. I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for listening. Reminder, if you have any thoughts about any of our thoughts, or if you want to let us know what you thought about the book, you can email us at betweenthebookspod@gmail.com.
Yeah, please let us know. And if you have any suggestions for any other books we could read.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.